Okay, so I'm going to finish off with wooden spoon. I mean, again, it does. There are strong repeats of some, I think, some of the earlier questions I've done, but I just want to look at it just as a final confirmation of some of the work we have been doing. So you're very clear as to what's going on here. So this is wooden spoon sells these kitchen utensils, and um, what you have here is some wood treatment and labor as variable overheads. So let's see, it says the amount of wood and treatment required was set many years ago. So I'm smelling basic standard already, basic standard. And it says here that this has changed with fashion from big and bulky to a more streamlined. They found that a batch of wood can manufacture around 15% more wooden spoons than from the initial design. So this question is asking, explain the type of standards being used for the different materials and labor. So definitely a basic standard here that is initial, that is good for trend setting, but it's not going to motivate anyone, if you like, and um, it's not current enough. And so even having faith in the budgetary system or really having any meaningful analysis is not it's not going to happen. Then it says here that the labor cost has no stoppages or idle time, so you can see straight away ideal budget. We have an issue here. So and we have good evidence. We're told that month and month, and we saw an earlier question like this where they actually wanted us to adjust the figures. So again, this is asking us what are the types of standards here being used. We have them there. The behavioral implications, of course, here you're most likely to get demotivation. Um, and manipulation, demotivation, manipulation, if you like, and here just a lack of faith in the budgetary system. And then in terms of revised standards, what we want to do is we want to cater for, so we have an average here. We are told that the um, the productive time um, the non-productive time, forgive me, has changed on average at 4%. So we want to integrate that 4% into this. We know this is technically 96%. That's what they're sort of saying. So we're saying on average is a 4%. So we want to find the 100%, almost like deal with that. And to find that, but we also know that wages have also increased by 10%. So we also want to adapt that, if you like, as we're going along. So let's go to the just to see what they're telling us. So type of standards, wooden treatment based on a basic standard there, no changes. Standards are too easy to achieve. Labor is ideal, no wastage. Behavioral, um, again, efficiencies, when you have these improvements, they're not going to be meaningful. That's the key point there. The standards are too easy, it's out of date and needs to be revised. The problem with ideal standards, of course, is that you can't achieve them. If you like, you just cannot. You can encourage people to improve, but if you like, ultimately, you need revision and you need to sort of find a way to make them relevant. And you want people feeling demotivated, and you might lose good employees. So you can really go to town on that. So in terms of just working out the issues, I already did this one sort of um, you can see there, these are your changes here. We did something similar. But the point here was because you can do 15% more, then we can see straight away that, if you like, it says they can produce 15 more spoons per batch than originally, if you like. So £3.45 can make 1.15 spoons. So in effect, you now have 3.45 divided by 1.15. And the treatment, same thing, divided by 1.15. So we're in effect saying that the cost should be less. They're more efficient. Um, and really, that's kind of the main initial point here. And I think this is a good question. These are good questions to practice. Just make sure you're comfortable with the process of adjusting these budgets, and then you chuck all of that in there. And there is a last bit here, and it says here. The floor manager will receive a bonus if the net cost variance is favorable. Currently, it will be net adverse. He's decided to delay maintenance to try to overturn the adverse in the current period. And again, this question of ethical OPPIC, Pick the ones that are so confidentiality, not so much. Objectivity, professional behavior, integrity are likely to be the key ones you're going to be discussing, if you like. And goal congruence is really about thinking about the entire organization and getting the entire organization working as a whole and all aligned. So if you have one person working in a silo behavior to sort of make their own goals look favorable, then you're likely to fail. So the key point here is that manager, it's all self-interest. Manager decision will have an adverse effect on the overall business because the maintenance will affect production, or you might even have injuries. Short-term financial targets, whereas in the long term, um, these could affect the long-term survival. Self-interest threat, I think, is the word you want to be keeping. So whenever you see this, you want to be highlighting self-interest straight away. Affects their objectivity. Yes, you're benefiting personally, but detrimental impact on the business and the health of the people working there is where you're going with this. So I think it's building your answers and writing them out, and that will develop as you keep writing, making sure you're having both headings. Goal congruence. Goal congruence, again, I highlight, is about you and all the stakeholders moving in the same direction. In the same process. So short-term ideas, short-term objectives, long-term objectives, all agreeing and moving together. So manager and business, as in all the employees, and as well timelines moving together, as opposed to everybody being haphazard and doing things in their own way. You're just going to have a clash and no real achievement of those objectives. Okay. So please, again, yeah, so rounding up, I think this will all help for when you go into here. I mean, this is, again, very similar to one of the things we've been doing. Um, Nothing here. Just we've prepared all of these. We have earlier statements that I prepared. All of these, we have already done a number of these items. Remember where we've calculated budgeted costs several times and actual costs. We've done a lot of these exercises already. This is just a summary, but we have enough material for you to revise all of these. Okay.